Alright, welcome to the Knights of the Porg Republic. Today we've got one of our local league games. It's a bit of a jank league. So the round one is just the welterweight. Basically the rules of this is that there is no pilot initiative above 4, no ships or anything that change initiative, and no ships or cards that change initiative. So like Han Solo doesn't work. Well, not Han Solo, Rourke Garnet, and then Han Solo Gunner, and the other ones that change initiative. And every pilot has to be unique, so no generic, so you can't just spam 4s or something like that by 4 generics. So today we've got a resistance list versus a galactic empire. We have Terry on the left hand side. He is playing Chewbacca with Finn, Heroic, and Rey's Millennium Falcon. He's also got Kaz, who just got Heroic. Over the cards aren't up. So Kaz's ability is when you attack somebody, while you perform a defender primary attack, if the enemy ship's initiative is higher than the number of damage cards you have, you may roll 1 additional dice. That can be pretty handy in certain situations. He's got Tevin Wexley with just the S foils, and he's got R1J5 with nothing. And R1J5's ability is before you expose one of your damage cards, you may look at your face down damage cards, choose one, and expose that card instead. So it should be pretty interesting, especially if there's a whole lot of crits coming through. And then we've got Jarrad, who is playing with Major Vermeil. So Vermeil's ability is, we've seen that quite a bit. When you perform an attack, if the defender does not have any green tokens, you may change one of your blank or focus to a hit result. And then Death Troopers, so during the activation phase, enemy ships are you've got Bernier, who after you perform an attack, you may perform a boost or barrel roll action even if you are stressed with crack shot. Time has just started. So that could be pretty interesting. I think not having, or Jarrad having initiative could be fairly interesting. In this, that he may be able to barrel roll or boost out of arc, shoot and then get out of arc. We've got Gideon. So while you perform an attack against a damaged defender, roll 1 additional attack die. Wampa. While you perform an attack, you may spend 1 charge to roll 1 additional attack die. After defending, lose a charge. And then Major Rhymer with advanced proton torpedoes. So Major Rhymer, you increase or decrease the range requirement by 1 to a limit of 0 to 3. So that could be an interesting thing with the advanced proton torpedoes. Do it at range 2, or if you've got that lock and bump, do it at range 1. Range 0. So both Kaz and R1J5 have taken their damage from the ability. Basically, Explosion with Wings is when you're dealt 1 face down damage card. Yeah, you are dealt one face down deck. I guess it's interesting here that Jarrad's got the more ships on his side, and he's also got probably the agility there, except for Vermeil. So I think Terry will want to get Chewie into the action fairly quickly, just to be able to capitalize on his ability. If Chewie can get double shots in. It'd be interesting to see where Terry comes in with his ships, because Jarrad's created a block, and it's like he's just gonna joust wherever he can with a block. And you should be able to hear. Doesn't look like you guys can actually hear the guys in the background. It would be very, very quiet, but the players, you can hear the players. Yeah. Yeah, so there's some pretty interesting lists here. I think Terry's got the disadvantage at this point where he is, he's got both Temin and also Chewie too far out. It's not going to be able to get those shots in, whereas probably the next turn, Jarrad may be able to get shots with all of his ships. I think from Jarrad we'll probably just see something fairly straightforward. Maybe with the two TIE fighters banking down, and maybe also Reimer banks down. You could see Tur turn down a two hard or one hard down through the middle there, but then that will maybe put him bad position in the next few rounds. Terry maybe just needs to either get the two fireballs out of there or go very slow, and just maybe 3 hard with Temin and 3 hard or 3 bank with Chewie. And I think with Jarrad, with Vermeil, he'll probably just bump into the back of his ships again. At this point, I don't think Vermeil's super required for to have modifications. I think you want him just to stay back there, because Vermeil will go up in flames really quickly if you just let him into the action and get shot by everyone. After a few little technical difficulties, we got back into the same position, and looking back at what they're all doing, so I think this round should go pretty quickly, just due to them already having the maneuver set. Yeah, we'll see where they'll go from here. I think Jarrad's still deciding on Vinder's move. So yeah, Wampa's done the bank down. Yeah, so he's getting out of there. Not ideal, but he can still. I don't think he's getting shot this turn, so even if he gets the strain, it's probably okay. Yeah, he's taken that strain. His bump, so yeah. I think we won't see a huge amount of action this round. We might see maybe Tur might be the only one that even gets close. But doing a 2 straight, I don't think he's getting anywhere. And then I think with Kaz, you'll see a turn down as well, like RJ. That's interesting. You may get a shot from Vinder onto RJ, and maybe Kaz, depending. Yes, Kaz has done a 1 turn down. I don't think Kaz wants to be there. I think, although you may want to. So I think Kaz is going to slam. Yeah, get out of there. Which is only a 1, but yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Vinder is probably just out, but we'll see. You got Temin. Alright, going 4 forward. The interesting thing about where Kaz and well the 2 fireballs are is now they're sort of being chased. Not sure if they've got the best dial. So they've got a turning around is really just the 3 Talon. Probably not great. You could just do a 2 turn slam into a 2 turn, but you don't really want to do anything there. And no strain from Chewy landing on that rock. Yeah, so the mill is just in. You'd go into RJ, I would think. It's 3 versus 2. Whereas Kaz will be 3 versus 4. And Vermeil's got his ability, so I would think they're both going to take, it's probably 3 damage, depending on how many evades he rolls. So he's going to Kaz. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, so 3 hits. Should be 4. So 2. Alright. So we are definitely back again. I'll just need to update the time. It is about 61 minutes. So hopefully that is the end of the technical issues, and we can continue without any further issues. But it does look like that arc is stuck on. I think some things are maybe we're having a few more technical issues. We'll see. Huh. Yeah, so we'll see what happens here if stuff is moving, and hopefully we don't have too many more technical issues. But yeah, so I guess here you will see. I'm not sure where the edge of the strain is on Chewy, but I think you'll see Chewy just going up the board slightly. One straight. Temin is completely out of it, so I'm not too sure where he's going to go. Maybe a 3 hard. And yeah, we will probably see maybe Talon rolls. K turns would be better if they had them, but maybe you just go straight. Yeah, I think these guys you just go straight. Although the problem is, I guess Vermeil is sort of in the way of everybody. So Jarrad's got a bit of a juggle here. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah. I guess that means that Gideon should also jump over. Yeah, so he's done the... and he rolls for the strain. Got that there. Yep. Takes the strain. So 2 strain and 1 stress. Not good, not bad. I think he's in a position where he's in a decent position. Good for the next few turns. Is probably going to get shot by Vermeil. Depends where Kaz goes. I still think Temin probably should have turned up the board the last turn. But it's probably okay. And we might see one bank there. So yeah, Jarrad's put himself in a decent position. Gonna capitalize on whoever. So he moved over the strain as well, unfortunately. And takes a strain. I think This is where you put as much into Chewy as you can. Yeah, boost forward, and then you've got no shots. Just focus. Ooh, close. Hopefully no strain there. Ah. Then so you probably shoot with Tur first. Tur or Vermeil. It probably doesn't really matter. You maybe try Rhymer. Range 2 into Kaz. I'm not sure why that arc is just sitting there, but we're gonna have to deal with it for the game, unfortunately. Oh, so you spend a focus for 3 onto Kaz. It's just two onto Kaz. So yeah, so Kaz's ability now turns off. It's like just range 3 on Chewy. The 2 hits onto Chewy. So range 3 gets 1, but loses 1 because the strain invaded 1. So Chewy takes 1. Tur you. Yeah, I think you go into Chewy. I think Chewy's one of those ships where it's more a bait, I would think, than anything. So 1. So he evaded that. So he had no shot there. Temin has no shot. And yeah, I think you've got 3 shots onto Vermeil. I think you just pound Vermeil. So yeah, 1 hit onto Vermeil. He takes 1 shield. And the other interesting thing you can see here is Jarrad's actually gone through and designed all the prize dice. So yeah, they look pretty cool. He's gone, I think, the world's dice and all the regional dice and everything like that. So 1 hit onto the mill and 1 evade. Not a great result from Terry. Wampa shoots back. You go into Chewy. I mean, I guess it's gonna happen. Kaz is gonna blow up eventually. We just want to maybe just get rid of it. Chewy's got no mods. Probably the better time to shoot him now. Destroy Kaz now is when Chewy's not modded, so. So Jarrad's just explaining Wampa's ability here. So if he's been shot, he loses his charge or flips his charge. But when he engages, he can flip his charge to add a die. Yeah, so he's going into Chewy. See those fancy prize dice again. Hit crit. Chewy gets the 2. The 1. And Chewy loses a shield. So yeah, obstructed range 3 at the mill. I don't think it's going to do much, especially unmodified, but take the shot anyway. So 1 hit. He has to roll focus. See that, and then we should be able to see the green dice a bit better. Yeah, so this is where it gets difficult with the maneuvers, I think. Both. Oh, they got rid of it. Nice. Both players are in positions where it's not great. I think you'll probably see Vermeil do the sneaky 1 bank and what is it, 1 sloop? Yeah, the 1 sloop. So it'll be a nice little maneuver there. I'm guessing really with all of Terry's ships, you're probably just gonna go slow. Chewy 1 forward, Kaz 1 forward, RJ 1 bank, but that puts you in a bit of a tough position. I don't think it should hit, but it'll be close. Hit the gas cloud there. And then Temin, you've just got to gun it in, so 3 in boost and focus. So, fairly interesting maneuvers. I think he's keeping Reimer at the back, so this next turn he can get those advanced proton torpedoes off at range 2. You will see maybe it is just Wampa just goes 3 forward, 4 forward, go for that bump onto Chewy. and yeah, try to capitalize all your ships on Chewie. He's only down to, he's got eight hull and 1 shield. With the advanced proton torpedoes, you could do a lot of damage to Chewie in this round, so it's not going to be, if he can pull off that bump, it's not going to be great. Chewie does have Rey's Millennium Falcon. So could still sloop. Even though trust. Yeah, I think Chewie maybe getting out of there. Doing the 3 bank 2 turn. 2 turn towards Timon might be the best idea. Yeah, Kaz and RJ just slow. So I think Jarrad's just deciding on a couple more maneuvers and we should be ready to go for the next round. So while Jarrad's only done half points on one of Terry's ships, Terry is still behind in that damage race. I think he's only done one damage total to Jarrad. So the 3 bank there. Maybe he is going for the block on Kaz. So it's barreling out. So that probably puts him out of doing the sloop with Mill. Yeah, and then you see that clears both of those. So just checking for Death Troopers there. But he keeps 1. Yeah. Yeah, so I thought he would have gone for the bump on Chewie. Maybe he just thinks Kaz is gonna bump anyway. Forward. Oh, that sloop still fit. Nice. That is a very nice maneuver by Jarrad. And he is safe from strain. Maybe Gideon? Oh. Ters there. Gideon could go in for the sort of bump into Chewie. But I don't think Jarrad's able to capitalise on a bump, so. See, and this is where if Chewy's just done a 1 forward, he'll probably fit in. But then Tur could shoot and then boost forward or something. So. He's choosing to roll, which I think will probably put a bump onto, possibly put a bump onto Chewy. I think you just, yeah, go for the lock onto Chewy. And just hope that he's gone straight. Ooh, slope. Ooh, very nice. Nothing. So because of Death Trooper's triggers, Kaz does not get rid of the stress. And then I guess Temin, yeah, doing a 3 bank. You boost around. I think here we will see. I think here we'll see the Tur ability trigger. You'll shoot Temin and then you'll boost out of range of at least Kaz. So we'll see if Jarrad remembers the ability or if it's a mistrigger. Range 2 into Temin. Hit crit. Decent. Ooh, so blank and a focus. And Temin takes 2 shield. So he decided not to spend that focus. Yeah, and that sloop dodged that advanced proton torpedo, so that's really lucky for Jarrad. Really unlucky for Jarrad and lucky for Terry. So it looks like Jarrad did forget the Tur trigger. Do have that right. After you perform an attack, you may perform a barrel roll or boost action even. So he's shooting Kaz. 1 crit. So he's got two hull left. Oh, blanks out. I think he's deciding if he wants to try to get the direct hit. While it would be some fun cheese there, I don't think that's the ideal thing to do. And he's got an evade. So. is all fine. I think ultimately you've got multiple ships you just keep on. So range 3 into RJ. Yeah. So yeah, that's an interesting interesting thing there, because those ships start damaged. He already he gets his extra die from his ability. Oh, and he rolled too many dice. Double R. You probably just take the one, yeah, because you're taking all that damage from Cinder. That's gonna hurt. So yeah, range 1 into it 4. Unmodded hit crit, that's probably pretty standard. And then focus, and I think you spend the calculate. So that's a damage sensor array on RJ or R1J5. So that is cannot perform any actions except the focus action. Actions on deck. Chewy. Looks like he's got Gideon range 1, Tur range 1. I think you've probably got you got 3 shots on Gideon to that's 2 hits and a crit. Some pretty awful dice physics there, but it still works. And 2 evades and spends that evade, so nothing. Hit crit and spends the focus for 2 hits and a crit. I think you should probably get the crit through. So 1 crit onto turn. Direct hit. Takes another damage card. That's half points on Tur. Which, funnily enough, put him in the lead by 1 point. So far. Then you just go range 1 into Tur again, and hopefully you get lucky and wipe him off. 1 crit. He could get lucky. But I think he's got... Oh. He got lucky. And I think that's damaged power. Disabled power regulator. Not that it matters. So if only he had remembered. If he'd remembered that ability, he could have boosted out of the way. So 4 dice from range 1 into R1 J5. I'll get that name right once. Because Wampa hasn't been attacked yet. So yeah, pretty good hit crit. I think that's fairly average dice roll there. He's got 1 of 8, I think. So he's taken a direct hit. I think he's on 2 now. No, he is on. So 2. So 1 from Wampa, so Wampa takes. Alright, so Jarrad is in the lead. Oh no, sorry. Jarrad is not in the lead. He's trailing by 7, needs 8 to get in front. He's got 2 ships that are on fire. Terra's got 2 ships that are on fire, so Chewie's ability we may see that trigger this turn. You may just see a sneaky little sloop again with the Ray's Falcon title. I think Temin, you just do the 1 forward. You're gonna be fine there. Kazan, 1 J5. I'm not quite sure. I think Wampa, you probably just see the 4K. Gideon, maybe the same thing, which would then block that sloop back from Ray if that's what he's going to do. And Reimer, you just possibly 1 bank down again, and hopefully you get that double modded advanced proton torpedo at range 2. It'd be nice to see. And Vermille's stressed, so not sure. Maybe you just bank in towards the other ships as well. So I think Terry would probably want to Terry would probably want to get rid of Vermille as soon as possible. I think he's going to be the biggest pain. I think you just stay there and just calculate. Yeah, evade. Evade seems like a decent action. Yeah. Alright, so you see Gideon. Yeah, so that will block the 1 forward from Temin. Depending on what Terry's done, that could be a very good move. You just focus, yeah, get that double modded shot. Mill bumped. One. So Vermil bumping there is pretty good for Terry. May not have a shot on anyone. Doing a one bank bumps. So Kaz isn't going to have any shots. And Death Troopers stops him from removing that stress. Death Troopers is a pretty interesting upgrade where it just, yeah, it's stopping all that. Being able to stop your opponent from removing the stress is quite good. There, that one forward is really good for Terry. Takes a strain, but yeah, oh, that's really interesting. You go on to Chewy, the meal. Yeah, range down to Chewy. And then 3 hits. And Chewy is strained, so yeah, takes a hit and 1 shield and 2 hull. I think Rhymer might be out of everyone. Yeah. Gideon has nobody. It's like Kaz is probably out of. Has nobody in Arca as well, so. Oh, that looks like it's just out on Rhymer as well, fortunately. So one hit. And because he's strained. Yeah, and just go range 3 into. You go into, I think you go into Vermeil here. He's debating whether to go into Private, but you go into Vermeil because you just keep that attack up. At the same time, yeah, so 1. I guess it's the same result. You're going against 2 either way, but Rhymer has a focus. Two blanks helps anyway, so Rhymer takes 1. And then I guess the benefit of going to Rhymer is you've also got that extra shot from R1. The good position that Terry's in now is he's denied the want of the shot on either R1 or Kaz because they're so low in health that you just don't want to get that double shot off. So yeah, Chewy can perform an action and then perform a bonus attack if one of them. I think you probably go into Kaz and hope you can just get that 1 damage in. Yeah. And then hopefully next turn you can hit him twice, get rid of both those ships, because then there's only 1 extra bonus attack. So nothing anyway. So range 2 into Rhymer, 1 crit. And evades. So currently the scores are Terry at 43 to Jarrad 86. And there's about 20 minutes left. The timer could be a little bit off because we had quite a few technical difficulties, but I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. Another sort of interesting move here. It's a bit of a clusterfuck for everyone, so everyone's sort of not in the most ideal position. Kaz not being able to get rid of that stress, can't turn around super easily. No idea where the gas cloud is underneath it, so underneath Chewy, so not sure if even a 1 bank will clear. Gideon surely is just going to do a 4K. I don't think there's any reason to do anything else. Rhymer, Terry's been really good at dodging that arc, so Rhymer maybe just does the one bank, or not even sure on the maneuvers of them. It's 1 forward, I would think, would be the thing you'd want to do there. R1, just 1 bank. You got Wampa behind you, but I don't think that's a huge problem. If you can get Chewy to get his extra shot, Chewy, I think Finn isn't the right call on Chewy in this list. I understand where it's coming, is that if you've got a lock, you can chuck down a blank and re-roll, but I think here you'd probably just 3 bank or do a straight maneuver that gets you in arc. Doing a bank maneuver down will keep your arc open pretty well, and if you bump, it should still be okay. I think the mill is the interesting one. If it were me, I'd probably just 1 forward and sloop, but I think Jarrad might have a different idea on what he's going to do. Yeah. Yeah, so it's an interesting. I think this is probably another one of those pivotal moves. I honestly think if Chewy didn't bump and Rhymer got that advanced proton torpedo off on Chewy, it probably would have been game for Terry. I don't think he'd be able to pull it back from there. But as long as I reckon, as long as Chewy can live, and well, not even live, but if Terry can manage to take off maybe another one of the ships this turn and only lose 1 or 2 of his ships, and capitalize on that Chewy shot. I think he's still in it, but yeah, Terry is unfortunately Jarrad shit. Again, as we saw though, like the 3 agility ships can just lose it quickly. And I know Jarrad's the king at the moment, the Porg king at the moment, but secretly rooting for Terry. Yeah, gotta take those Empire out. Two forward bumps. Oh, one turn that way. Interesting. So it looks like he may slam. He's gonna do the 1 turn slam down. Not bad. Oh, so they just figured out damage. So he can only focus or repair the card, which, yeah, you've got to repair the card because he is a droid. Oh, 3k. So I'm not sure if everyone heard that, but yeah, Jarrad was trying to figure out if a 1 hard would fit. I'm guessing he's probably done a 1 bank, so he's bad. The mill's in a pretty good position. Yeah, Reimer stays where he is. Oh, Cass just jumps over. And he is still in range 1. Ultimately, I think he wanted that bump there. That's pretty good. A good position, although he is going to get destroyed by Rama. But Rama's only got this single mod with the target lock, so Wex just going to do a 1 forward. Yeah. And then you just focus and you can probably... Ooh. Hopefully for Terry, Chewie can get the double shot off. He doesn't get that extra action, but I think it is still going to be pretty interesting here. So Reimer is going to use the advanced proton torpedoes and make it a range 2 attack from his ability. So it's 5 dice. So Rhymer's a bit dirty in that sense. So we'll see 5 dice into Chewy, which could wipe Chewy off if there's some nice crits in. Oh, it's not a very nice roll. So yeah, here you'd reroll everything. Oh, 3 crits. Ouch. So takes a hit and 3 crits. So structural damage, console fire, and fuel leak. So yeah, range 2 into Chewy. So blanks. That's pretty good for him. Although I think after a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, I think you should be able to trigger Chewy's ability with your own destruction. So mill range 1 into Temin. And Vermeil's ability will trigger here because Temin has no green. So it will be 2 hits and a crit. So he'll roll 2. And take 2 hits and a crit. Ooh. Which is... Oh. Alright, yeah. So 3 hits into Vermeil. And Vermeil takes 3. That's half points on Vermeil. Terry is still behind. Chewy does hit crit. Then hit crit. Fuel leak. I think we all know what fuel leak does, but after you suffer 1 crit, you take another damage. And there is 7 minutes left. So I think Jarrad's just deciding if he wants to shoot with Vermeil or not. I mean, with Wampa or not, because obviously there's a good possibility of getting rid of those 3 ships. Temin's on 2, R1 is on 1, Kaz is on 2. So he's looking at shooting Wex. 2 hits. Three. And he's fine. I think ultimately you want to keep those guys alive in this turn. Hopefully he can get Kaz and R1 back around to do some damage before Chewie dies. But Jarrad's played this pretty well so far not to allow Chewie's ability to trigger. I think he's been a bit afraid of it. So yeah, I think the problem with our disconnections has caused the arc to stay there. So looking at where the ships are, I think we'll probably see Chewie, maybe you just do the one forward, clear the stress. You probably will have something in shot, or do a one bank even. Then you're most likely to have Vermeil, Reimer, or Gideon in the 3 hurt ships. Ultimately, Terry is going to lose. There'll be either be 1 round or 2 rounds left. Terry is going to lose. He could honestly lose all his ships in this round, but he's going to lose a couple, I would think. R1 may be able to just get behind and not get shot at by anyone. Kaz could do something similar. And yeah, Temin, I'm not sure if he's going to have a shot unless he can pull off a sneaky 4K or Talon roll. But yeah, to win Vermeil, half points on Vermeil is 28. Gideon, he'll get 30 if he can get rid of Gideon. Yeah, that's a bit tough. Oh, Wampa has done the one. I think he's going up there to secure the kill on R1. Oh yeah, nice. Wampa is still 2 damage. 2 damage left. Yeah, so he's come up there, maybe hoping for that bump. Oh, I see, and then he probably wants to get that bump and get the Death Troopers on to stop Chewie from removing that stress. He doesn't get strained. Yeah, I think if Jarrad can get rid of Chewie this round, which I think he should due to the structural damage, it's going to be hard for Terry to come back. Just checking if range. Oh, is out. So that's good. He will, whoever dies, he should be able to get a shot. Just cleaning up all the leftover stuff. Kaz, 47 seconds left. Kaz isn't going to do anything. Unless he can maybe turn around. Thinking about it, maybe a 3 would have been better. And then he could have just flipped one of his cards and hoped it wasn't a direct. Vermeil into. Oh. I think we've broken Tabletop Simulator. That's time. Going as Chewy. I would say that he's knocked Chewy off. Yep. He is dead. So I think he can shoot. He's going to lock Vermeil and shoot Vermeil. I think maybe a focus is the better option. And the arc's gone stupid. I'm not yeah. So does the fin blank and is going to re-roll those 3. Yeah, not a bad outcome. As long as he can do 1, it's guaranteed. Yeah. So yeah. And then Chewy, I don't think has a shot on anyone else. Next. When he actually gets to shoot. I guess what Chewy could do is could do an action to rotate his arc. I think I'm not sure if Gideon is in arc or not. So Gideon is looking at shooting Emin at range 3, I think. So it's going range 3. I mean, I think the odds of getting rid of Temin is low. Hit crit. Could happen. He's unmodified. 1 crit. As long as it's not direct hit. So it's a weapons failure. So that's probably a really good result for Jarrad. Oh, so Chewie does have one on Gideon. My bad. Ooh. And he's fine. Marks everywhere. So if he goes into Rama, 22 points. So roll too many dice, re-rolling them. So one hit won't get half points. That. Oh, the arcs are just not liking it. So range 1 into R1. I think R1 is probably gone this turn. And he trade. The focus will secure the kill. R1 is definitely gone. And takes all of it. One back into him. 3. Could get lucky. So hit crit. Debbie. Oh, so he dies. Nice. Unfortunately, Terry just could not push through that damage. I think if he'd managed to take Vermeil off the one turn earlier, it would have made a huge difference. He probably possibly still would have had Chewie on the board. But it was a fairly good game. Interesting to see those ships that we don't really see, and apologies for all the technical issues, but hopefully when we load it up to YouTube it will be seamless. Well, as seamless as I can make it. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.